started, we got a hold of you know what a cartographer is? A cartographer is a person that makes maps. The TCA was kind enough and generous enough to send us a copy of the proposed 241 expressway. And you know what an expressway is? I'm looking at it right now, and you know something? This thing is 30 miles away. Not 6 blocks away or a stone's throw away. This is a long ways away. You know where Coto de Caza is? I do. It's up by Coto de Caza, Rancho Sega Margarita. It's way up there. And it actually, it starts, if it were to start, it would start at Oso Parkway. And you know what Oso means? Remember that guy in Big Wednesday that made the surfboards? His name was the Bear? Well, there's the hint. So, anyways, they are not going to start down at, here's a great name, Basilone Road. You know where that is? It's right by, Jesus Christ, here he is again, Trestles. Wow, they saved Trestles for what, Easter? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look bad. Briefly, and that means quickly, the thing right now ends at Oso Parkway, which is way the heck up there. I mean, it's not even close to Trestles. And it comes all the way down, proposed, all the way down to the place they want to save. It's at, it's a Basilone Road. That's where it stops and runs into the Interstate 5 and goes right down to San Diego, Encinitas, Oceanside, you name it, it goes there. But the way it looks now, there are some people that don't want it to go down there because it's going to, I don't know how, but they think it's going to harm Trestles. Holy criminy. Here's my ankle, you know the rest. Give me a break. The old days, one of the funniest things that I ever saw back in the old days was they had this guy named Wild Ass Wiley. Now, Wild Ass Wiley was a funny person. Now, Wild Ass Wiley wasn't a drunkard like those other guys, and you know who they are. These doctors that wore nylon brief trunks, jeez. Well, this guy, Wild Ass, was not a boozer, because those San Onofre people were boozers. And you know what a boozer is? They're ongoing lushes. So he shows up one day and all the San Onofre heroes are passed out drunk, sleeping it off from last night. They didn't have rangers to throw you out. So Wild Ass Wiley shows up and and I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who they are, because they were on the board of directors, BOD, of San Onofre. Now, in Wild Ass Wiley's car, in the trunk, he has this glider, airplane, remote control airplane, with probably a 6-foot wingspan. And he had this monkey in a cage, and you're not going to believe this. The monkey's name was Monk, M-O-N-K, as god-awful, filthy dirt road. So it's bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and finally he gets enough speed, and up she goes. So Wiley flies it probably about 50 yards out over the ocean, and then he comes back, and then this is before they had these silly cliffs with all the weeds and that stuff growing on them. They were sandstone cliffs that were straight up and down, and they had a cave, beautiful cave. Well, that's Wiley. Gives Monk a ride, starting at where this place called the Point is. He comes down, probably about 30 feet off the ground, comes down the road, and Wiley sees all the, the drunks passed out on the sand, and he lands the glider. What's that thing? Remote control glider. The thing bounces to a stop, and then out pops Monk. Now these drunks on the beach are just starting to wake up because they hear all this commotion and this glider and all that. And they look up and they see this Monk running up and down the road, and they think that, holy jeez, this is awful. We're never going to drink again. And they, honest to goodness, thought that